Hey, good evening, everyone. It's Thursday night. Welcome to the NLG show. What's up, Peter?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, all beautiful people in the chat? What's going on?
That's right.
Another Thursday.
Another Thursday. So, well, we're back on after a couple week hiatus.
Yeah.
So,
And we didn't get impeached, so we're still here.
No, we're still here. That's right. Oh, man. So, yeah, it was one of those things where it was last week. It was either us or the Video Game Awards. I'm pretty sure, considering what happened, the Video Game Awards won. So,
Yeah.
so I was okay. But you know what? We were in a nice party with some good people.
Mhm.
We had who just jumped in now, Rebel Coop.
Rebel.
And Siberia's in the
the
house.
the Beaver Believer.
Yes, the believer of beavers.
Hmm.
And Chris, who we're waiting on, he's not home yet. So we're waiting on him to get home, and then we'll bring him in. And then PlayStation Bra, Thomas he's daring to see the new Star Wars movie tonight. So he's out too. So for now, it's just you and me.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Still going to be a great show.
Hell yes. So how's your?
A little shout out to Siberia. He's recovering from surgery.
I know.
So
I know, man. Just keep, like I said, just keep on healing, Si. We got you. We got your seat. We got your seat, man.
keep on healing, keep on gaming, and keep on listening.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's no joke. It was like spinal surgery or something. And
Spinal fusion.
spinal
maybe?
fusion. That's no joke. So I'm really, really, really happy that that Siberia's on the mend and he's doing all right. And
Mhm.
yeah, so just keep healing, our brother. Keep healing. So, so what you been up to? I know we've been on parties this week, but what you been up
Yeah.
to?
Let me see. I bought some games, played some games, got some games through Game Pass, like that stupid Goose Game.
Yeah,
It's a stupid game. It's fun.
yeah. It's you know what
I'm
you know
glad
what
I
else?
didn't pay a penny for it. I mean, not directly at
Well,
least.
yeah. Well, you know what else was
It's
actually?
like, oh yeah,
I mean,
just
what
a
kind
few
of?
more minutes and then. But I mean, it's like a day or 2 days and you'd be done with it. So it's
Well,
it's
what
just
kind of
short.
achievements could you possibly get in an untitled Goose Game?
Well, the thing is, like, you have an objective list, like a couple of and some of them they gave you right from the get go. Like, for instance, lock the gardener out of his garden, or, or
Okay.
like have him wear his sun hat.
Have him wear his sun hat. Nice.
So yeah, so there are different things, but
Well, that's cool.
yeah, it's definitely if you have Game Pass, definitely check it out. If you're on a different platform like PlayStation, is it worth? I think it's on sale. I think this they have an introductory price of $14.99. Is it worth that? I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Yeah. It all depends how much cash you have to burn.
yeah, it's typically $20.
Yeah,
I don't know. And somebody, I just read 14-year-old mods Untitled Goose Game into Minecraft. It's also out for the Switch. So
Also
you
out
get
for
it
the
on
Switch,
so you
okay.
get it on PC and Mac, Switch, PS4, Xbox One.
it's all over the place. Nice. It's a fun game, so you'll have a couple of hours of mindless fun.
Mindless fun is always good.
Yep.
I went back for King's Quest, an oldie.
Nice,
And
nice.
I mean, well, an oldie. It came out in 2015, but
Yeah.
I picked it up a while back when the collection went on sale, like all 5 episodes and the prologue,
Mhm.
and just I played the first 2 episodes and then kind of just let it sit. I was like, I really did enjoy it, and so I want to play it some more. So I went back and then I finished chapter 3 and chapter 4,
Oh,
and
nice.
then I'm gonna roll through chapter 5 and call it.
I think I left. I played chapter 3, and then somehow it ended back up on the shelf. So I still have to play the rest of it.
Chapter
I think the
3.
first episode was really great. The
Yes.
second one, and I think the third one were not
The,
as good.
no, the second one was kind of it was hard because you had to figure out who you could save and who you couldn't.
Oh
So that
yeah,
was hard.
I did
Um,
multiple playthroughs, I believe.
yeah, and there's a couple of achievements that I might go back and take a shot at. Um, the third one I thought was really good, and I think if it depends on. Um, I don't know if there's multiple branches to that one, but I actually really enjoyed chapter 3. Chapter 4 was kind of different.
Hmm.
And then now I'm on chapter 5. And what's so cool about the game that I didn't realize as I was playing it originally, but then as I started going back through it, I realized that each chapter is a part of Graham's life.
Right.
So he's just a young guy. In the first episode, he becomes king, but he's a little more grown in the second. In the third, he's he's in his adult. In the
Is that with the
fourth,
dragon? Is that 3? Or was that 2?
two two had the dragon.
Okay,
3 was Hagatha.
that doesn't ring any bells anymore.
He's stuck in the tree house.
Oh, maybe I haven't played 3D. Oh,
Okay.
he's not a gamer.
Yeah.
Get him out of here. How good.
Now um and the fifth one is when when he gets old and when he gets into his Christopher Lloyd years.
Hmm.
So, but I like the puzzles, and I like that I tweeted this out, and I still hold by this. I don't know what the Odd Gentlemen are doing now, and I don't know if Roberta Williams and I don't know if Ken Williams is still alive, but if I know Roberta Williams is. If they would sign off on um, a new Space Quest or King's Quest,
Oh yeah.
I would. How old is Ken Williams? Ken Williams is 65.
Yeah, there we go.
They,
Should
they,
still have some life in there.
yeah. Well, they founded Sierra, and so it was,
Yeah.
and it was their games that really, between those guys doing the King's Quest and Space Quest, and um, I think they did. Did they do Police Quest as well? I think they did Police Quest
I
as
think
well.
so. Yeah.
Um, and then bringing in guys like Al Lowe to do the Leisure Suit Larry.
Oh
So
yeah.
Tech,
I mean,
no, it's
it's
John.
this is how I fell in love with gaming. That was like on the PC. It was like the Sierra games, the King's Quest, and Leisure Suit Larry games and Space Quest and all that jazz, as well as like Test Drive. Remember the very old ones?
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
my favorite test drive of all time. One of my favorite overall racing games of all time is Test Drive 2: The Duel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really what started off. And it's like, okay, I need a computer.
Yeah. Oh, I love those.
I
Love those.
need a PC computer, a PC.
But I mean, um, and I mean, I go back before the King's Quest series too. I don't know.
Oh, what about Gabriel Knight? Is that share?
Gabriel
No,
Knight, no,
is
is
it not, not LucasArts?
no. Gabriel Knight is. Hold on, I'll tell you in a second. No, that is Sierra.
Oh,
That is Sierra Online.
Yeah.
But who wrote it? It was written by Jane Jensen, who worked on King's
yeah.
Quest, who worked on King's Quest 6, Air
Okay.
Today, Gone Tomorrow, and Roberta Williams. So Roberta
Yeah.
Williams had a hand in Gabriel Knight too.
I mean, those games were fantastic. But funny story is like, I was still in the Netherlands and being a young one, didn't speak English, but the game obviously is in English. But, no manual, no nothing. So we were just guessing commands of what to do, and that was half the battle. Not solving the puzzle. It's like, how do we tell? You know?
When I had my Atari, my John said I'm putting butter on my flexible flyer sled.
Ah,
You need
nice.
that. You need that serial coating finish that Clark Griswold had.
A little bit of
Um,
WD-40.
yeah. Oh yeah. Put some olive oil on the bottom of that thing, Techno. The first actual game that I ever played from Sierra was before King's Quest.
Oh, really?
It was called Mission Asteroid. It was on my Atari 1200 XL. I had an 800 and a 1200 XL, and it was kind of it was static image. It was a text. It was almost like a text adventure with pictures.
Oh, okay.
Where and to an extent, so was King's Quest One, where you typed in,
Hmm.
before you walked to stuff and hit A or X, you typed in look at tree.
Right.
But like Mission Asteroid, you had to type in go west, go east, go north, and you had to go through this whole array of things to get into a spaceship to get onto an asteroid. It was called a high res adventure. And then after that, the next one that I played, there was a few. I think the Apple was the Dark Crystal, which came out around the time of the movie,
Oh, okay.
and it was really cool. And I never got really far, but it was it was my first foray into Sierra games.
Yeah.
So then,
Mm.
once King's Quest and all that came around, Police Quest and Leisure Suit Larry was one of my all time favorites.
Yeah.
Um, oh my goodness, Al Lowe he was just such a it was so hilarious, some of this stuff, and I just remember the very first one.
Yeah. Being in a grocery store. Hey,
Yes,
he's buying lubbers.
numbers. Yes.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh my
Uh,
goodness. And yeah, so the newer ones weren't that, they were eh,
yeah.
but you kind of understood, modern day, but um yeah, it was great. So I would love to see the Odd Gentleman take on those games.
Absolutely.
So if you're listening, guys, they retweeted me. If you're listening, please,
Please.
please,
You want another
so
game like that?
please.
Please.
So
Yeah. Oh,
no,
another game that I played. It was a free weekend for Ubisoft's game Anno 1800, which is like a um, city building um, game in the industrial age.
what was it called?
Anno 1800.
Huh.
So it was fantastic. It was so good that I actually bought it. It was on sale too, and then they had another 20% off. So I did.
Okay. The seventh series in the Anno series. Seventh game in the series returns to the use of historical setting following the last two titles, taking place during the Industrial Revolution of the 19th century.
Yeah,
Oh, neat.
it's very neat.
Yeah.
Didn't get that far. Kind of ran a little bit out of money because I like to splurge.
Yeah, you always want to build up everything, but you don't want to charge the people high taxes.
Yeah, so I'll start from scratch and be a little bit more conscious of what to build.
Oh, look, Nate is here.
Nate is here. Good.
Oh
I hope
my
he knows this
god.
is a rated PG-13 show.
Yeah. We should rename it. He should be called Nathan, the Master of Amazon.
Massive Amazon. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I'm telling you. See, they're not like GameStop though, man. Amazon's gonna send the drones after you.
soon you don't even have to leave the house.
I
It's
know.
like, yeah. Nate says
Yeah, he's teaching
Nate's
you.
teaching me, so
Yeah.
we'll have to see if my traits go through. But it's
There was a
yeah.
show about that.
But based on that, it's like GameStop. I'm not, man. Those are scumbags.
Yeah,
Like it's
you're just now realizing that.
I never did a lot of business with GameStop till like last week or so.
Yeah.
It's like they send me a disc, and it was a Wii game. I put it in there, it doesn't work, and I look at the casing, and there's a black sticker that I
Hmm.
removed, and then it says like defective, send back to warehouse or something like that. It's like,
Wow.
yeah, okay, thanks.
Wow. You should take a picture of that.
Yeah, I should have done that.
That's
But at least we're
hilarious.
good. It's like I returned it, and it's like no issue and done.
Well, I would hope not.
I know, but
I would
they could
hope
be
not.
like, "Hey, this game is open. It's used. Whatever." It's
Yeah,
like,
it says defective.
yeah, it's like,
See, uh, uh,
yeah.
so well,
Or they send a game and it was the wrong game too. Two the same games. The one was defective and the other one was not even. What was the it was Mario Olympics, Winter Olympics, or Mario Sega Winter Olympics.
oh, Mario and Sonic.
Sonic, yeah, for the Wii, and so the one was disc was broken. The other one was like it was a Olympic Mario and Sonic Olympic game, but it was Beijing 2008 or whatever it was. So it's not even the right game. I don't know. They messed up
That is
so badly. It's unbelievable.
okay. Well, it harkens like the stuff that Nate does and then teaches you how to do
Oh,
harkens me to a show that was on like the History Channel briefly, where you could start off with this little USB stick and trade it all the way up to a boat. Yeah. Hey, we're gonna start with this pair of scissors,
yeah,
and your job is to trade and trade and trade until you have a Ferrari.
yeah. Good luck.
So that's Nate.
Yeah,
So,
that's yeah.
oh man. All right, so let's get into our fun. So before we get into the big stuff that happened last week, everybody knows we weren't on last week because, of course, the video game awards were on, and honestly, oh, I lost Peter. Oh, hang on. Oh no. Okay, Skype decided to do an upgrade. Holy shit! Hang on, Peter. Hang on, I'm coming. It decided to do an upgrade in the middle of the. Oh no, he's calling me back. Hold on, I'm calling you back. Alrighty.
Okay, he's back.
The Skype in
Skype also says like,
it was just
"Oh,
like it
please rate
said
this call."
it just did an upgrade to the
Ooh,
newest version.
on yours.
Yeah,
Oh,
in the middle of
in the
in
middle
the
of the
middle of the
show. Hey,
show.
thanks. Hey,
Wow. Okay.
look at all
Um.
the new features.
Wow. That's okay.
Hey,
All right. Sorry, man. Okay. So looks like so yeah, Nate. Not Nate, but Coop's going off to see Star Wars tonight now too. So you
hey,
have to let us know how it is, because I'll be honest with you. I'm just gonna wait till it comes on TBS.
TBS or
Yeah.
Disney Plus.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what Disney Plus. That's a good point. So
Which yeah,
it's in Game Pass today.
yeah, it's the expansion version, isn't it, or is it the first one? I mean, the
I don't know. They just said they were in.
something is in.
Yeah. So
I still need to play it though. Dang, I've been
I've
sitting on that
never.
game for the past. How
I
old is
know.
it?
I've never played it. I know what you mean.
Yeah, and once you
So
play, Well, I started up just I walked around and that was it. I finished 2 though.
I didn't play. I've never played a Witcher game.
Oh,
No, I've never played a Witcher game.
dang! See,
No,
not a gamer.
I know. Oh, I've.
Next
Oh,
level,
I.
not a gamer.
Yeah, I've totally. Yeah. So,
Uh,
all right. So, this happened a couple weeks ago. It's going on now. It's obviously we wanted to touch, on PlayStation's 25th anniversary because uh, it's a big time for. So the name of this show tonight is "What a Time to Be a Gamer," and when you look ahead to what's coming next year with the PlayStation 5 is coming next year with whatever that's happening with. Um, we're getting Ghost of Tsushima next year. We're getting um, uh, uh, what else are we getting next year for PlayStation? That's coming? Uh, well, we have a new trailer for a game called Godfall, which we'll show you because I got that. But I mean, if you look, next year, we're getting Last of Us 2 next year.
mm-hmm.
That's coming next year. So I mean, just those two games alone are huge. And then they're I keep hearing rumblings, and I know I'm being set up for failure, but I'm hearing rumblings that we might finally get a SOCOM game. Finally.
Never played one. Always wanted to
Oh
play
my
one,
goodness.
but
So this is a great
yeah.
segue into PlayStation. So as you know, Peter, I was a Sega guy and still am. Still
Mm-hmm.
am. Still a Sega guy. With the exception of the, 25-year spiral into hell they've gone into. But, for I'm old Sega guy, we'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Dreamcast, Saturn, below. Um, I didn't get into the original PlayStation. But I had a friend that had one. So I always went to his house to play. The original PlayStation actually launched with Battle Arena to Shinden. And, um, I got a chance to play that with my friends. I got a chance to play Twisted Metal. Um, games like that were Wipeout, which was a wild game. And if you have the uh, if you haven't gotten it yet, the Wipeout Omega Collection on
Mm-hmm.
PS4 it's awesome because it reminds me of those games, and it's funny because Wipeout eventually came out on the Saturn before Sony kind of bought the rights to it. Um, but I didn't get a chance to start really in earnest on PlayStation until the PlayStation 2 because of Sega's kind of demise into out of the console business. So I was always at Dreamcast HQ. I did, yeah. Wipeout Omega Collection is awesome, and the VR is unbelievable. That is a killer VR. Um, but for me it was the PS2, and a lot of it had to do with the fact that I was doing game journalism. So um, I got a chance to get into it, and it was PS2, Xbox, and N64. But I know that games like Ridge Racer and Twisted Metal and those really took the industry by storm. Did you ever get a chance to play? And did you get a PS Slim, or not a Slim, a PS Mini?
I did.
Did you play it yet?
I've played. I think Ridge Racer.
Okay, well that was an awesome racing game.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I mean, the graphics are kind of old, and it's
Well, sure.
probably will be shown better on a CRT instead of a modern day pixel based display. But yeah, I mean that's those games were right up my alley. So
Yeah, I'm trying to think. So um, the I don't remember the launch lineup. I'm going to look it up. Um, PS1 launched.
so it came with a pack-in game.
Came with Battle Arena to Shinden.
Nice. They should do that again with consoles. I mean, nowadays you know,
They should.
they are like bare bones. It's like, come on, for the guinea pigs, they should sweeten the
Yes.
deal a little.
Yes, absolutely. If you're going to plop down that much money,
Right.
you should get a game. So that's why I like that they're giving you at least a couple of months of Game Pass, because I think
True.
that's only right.
Yes.
So, um, that's how it should be. So, Merry Christmas to you, John.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
So, um, let's see. What else did it launch with? So it launched. So Battle Arena to Shinden, Kiliak, the DNA Imperative, the Raiden Project, and ESPN Extreme Games, and Total Eclipse.
Okay.
Not a great launch lineup. Although Rayman launched with it. Um, Street Fighter, the movie, the game. So, and of course Ridge Racer. So, I mean, that was in 1995. Those graphics were awesome.
Oh yeah.
So, but then the PS2 came out, and that really, that of course, we know how big the PlayStation 2 became, and we know how, we know the story, how many how many hundreds of millions. So what are they, 160 million strong, something along those lines. And I mean the games that launched on the PS2 were decent. DOA 2 Hardcore, Dynasty Warriors 2, uh, ESPN Track and International Track and Field, which I liked.
Hmm.
X Games Snowboarding, Gun Griffin Blaze, Armored Core 2. It had a big launch. Um, Madden NFL 2001, Midnight Club Racing, MotoGP, Ready to Rumble Boxing Round 2, which also came out on the Dreamcast. So, I mean, this thing was really, Ridge Racer 5, Silent Scope, Smuggler's Run, SSX, Street Fighter EX3, Summoner, Swing Away, Tekken Tag Tournament, Time Splitters, which was an awesome game, Unreal Tournament, which was a great game to have, even though the Xbox version honestly was the better version. It was still good to have that on there. Wild Wild Racing, and X Squad. And I remember I had the modem because, of course, I wanted to play online. And when SOCOM came out, was one of the first real. SOCOM was probably one of my first real PlayStation online games I ever played, and it was. I mean, it was so good for its time. There really weren't, you know. I mean, you had games, but you had like Rainbow Six on the Dreamcast. You had some games on the PC, of course, because you had Unreal and Doom and all those things. Um, but on the console side, there wasn't as much out there in the first person shooter market at that time. And SOCOM came out, and I remember I didn't know anybody online back then. So, I was getting into games with complete strangers. And I remember one of the coolest things about the game wasn't even how it looked or anything like that. It was how you communicated with your teammates, it was press to talk. So it wasn't this free for all nonsense that you got now.
Right.
You had to press down. It was like a walkie talkie. You had to you know, and you I couldn't tell you. I was probably I think it was like the R2 trigger or something or R1 or what have you. But you had to push to talk, and I thought that was the coolest thing because it that little bit of immersion um, made it seem. I know this sounds stupid, but it made it seem more real to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just there was a realism to not everybody wasn't just talking over each other and back then there wasn't half of this these kids trash talking and and playing music in the background and all that nonsense.
Right.
So it was a great game. I really want them to bring SOCOM back. They really need to. And I don't mean a remaster. I mean I need a new SOCOM. I need a new SOCOM in the worst way. So,
Well, maybe.
well, as I went through the PS2, and then of course I got out of I got out of game journalism in '07, so I really didn't get a PS3 for a while until I wanted a Blu-ray player. But once I did, I sort of helped me get back into doing some gaming because I had that. I had an Xbox 360, and I started to play some stuff again, and then here I am. So,
Yeah.
so what about you? What was your
I my first PlayStation was a PlayStation 3,
okay?
and I sold my wife to the idea that, hey, since it has Wi-Fi, we can watch Netflix in the bedroom. But I really got it for a heavy rain. Man, looks so
Oh my
awesome.
goodness!
That's
Oh
really the game that I wanted to play. So
yeah, and
yeah, well, I rented the game and played my heart out, and that's awesome.
okay.
Got a few more games that split second, and
Ooh, good one.
um, let's see. I don't know. I didn't. I was more Xbox. So and but yeah, then and now I have my PS4 Pro and PSVR and all the good stuff.
You know, I know that I kept my and for a long time I kept my original. I got one of the original PS3s because it played PS2 games
Oh yeah,
because it had it.
George Foreman's.
Yes, I had the Foreman grill, and I had it because I didn't trade it in because I wanted that backward compatibility. I
Mm.
wanted to play. I still had PS2 games, and um, I wanted to keep my library. People laugh about that now, or actually they don't laugh about it anymore. They
Yeah.
laughed about it at the beginning, but I watched the famed uh, uh, E3 press conference that everybody, the famous, uh, the famous hit the crab at its weak spot, yeah, that kind of thing. The $5.99 you need a second job for a PS3, but in the end, the games were that most games in the third party range, ran better on the Xbox 360. It was as usual the Sony's in house games that really made you love the system. Heavenly Sword was
Mm.
really solid. Uncharted started on the PS3. Ratchet and Clank, which didn't start on the PS3, but really looked great on there. And then of course Metal Gear Solid 4, which I wasn't into Metal Gear Solid myself, but I played it, and it was spectacular looking. Um, there were a lot of of fantastic games. And towards the end of the generation, before the PS4 came out, is when you got The Last of Us, Uncharted 3, games like that that really, brought them to the PS4 in grand fashion. And of course, the rest is history. Oh,
And now we're looking forward towards the PS5.
I know.
It's right around the corner.
Yep. So you know, I think you and I too share the same share the same thought when it comes to the PS5, and obviously it's one of the it's one of the consoles that eventually we're both going to have. I'm kind of
Probably.
yeah, I'm kind of I'm wavering because there are other priorities out there for me that, and the Intellivision Amico is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, Z Black, no
And
worries,
it's
man.
also holiday 2020.
I know it's also holiday 2020.
Everything is holiday 2020.
I know. I'm still working on getting Tommy Tallarico on. I'm
Yeah.
still working on it. It's my mission to get him on in sometime in 2020. I want to talk to him about the Intellivision Amico.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's um, uh, it's hard because, and I'm finding this also with the Xbox, and we'll talk about that in a minute too because of the new announcement. But these guys are going to have to really hit us on price because I don't know how we're going to survive. Consoles another generation of these of expensive consoles, and it's hard to know because we don't know completely all the
Mm-hmm.
PS5 specs yet. We know a little bit more about the Xbox, but I'm assuming that we're going to start getting some PlayStation information um, early this coming year, and I don't know if they're going to use. I don't know if E3 is going to make the comeback that everybody thinks it's going to make, and that's where they're going to announce. I don't know that they're going to let Microsoft get the drop on them. So um, I got a feeling we're going to get some information very early maybe in the next couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
uh, I
Man,
mean,
that's exciting times.
it
It's like
really
it's
is.
almost like new hardware, and man, it's like
It is.
what you read about and even speculation. It's like from both consoles. It's like man, it's gonna be huge.
Yeah. And I still want it to be. I still want it to be that spaceship.
The spaceship,
I still want
yeah,
it to be the spaceship.
the
I really,
PJ.
I love, I like that design. I don't care what anybody says. I want it to be that design. So,
It's like a building where everybody wants a window view.
yeah. And we do. So there are things we do know about the PS5. We do know that it's also going to use solid state drive.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to, which is going to give it, going to give seamless loading and things like that. The PS5 controller, I'm assuming the DS5, is going to have some things that haptic feedback and stuff like that the 4 did not have, and there's obviously going to be this CPU GPU hardware. See, that's what I'm talking about, John. We love the spaceship. Um, but we don't know the exacts yet. So we don't know exactly what the CPU is, exactly what the GPU is, you know,
Right.
and
And it's and it's a sum of all parts. Like,
exactly.
how do they utilize those parts? Because I think when you look at individual components, they're probably very comparable to each other. But how's it gelling?
Yes.
And once it's gelling, then you get the games and what games are utilizing,
And that's the key.
and that's the key.
It's going to be games. And you know what? John said something in the chat that that's absolutely true. He says, well, or is a good point. He said, I'm
Hmm.
hoping that in this next generation of gaming, that all the systems get back to making great games.
Right.
And
And now
absolutely,
both camps have great studios that can make great games. So
exactly.
yeah,
So, yeah, and we're going to talk about that too, because that this is we're going to start seeing some serious competition, and that's going to
yes.
be great.
Hmm.
So, and Z Black said not just consoles, but his new Surface phone next fall too.
Yeah. Man,
I
we're going broke. I have to sell all my kidneys.
all your kidneys. How many do you
Uh,
have?
I still have two.
Oh,
Man,
um, yeah. So yeah.
selling kids. Yeah. I only have one, so it's once it's
Well, so let's. So here's a. So I since we're here on the PS on the wait, let me see if Fastback has not gotten in yet. At least he hasn't messaged me. So, um, Peter, give me one of your kidneys. I'll pay you back later. I will gladly pay you Tuesday for a kidney today. um,
my kidneys come in a can. They're called kidney beans.
oh goodness gracious. Okay. So since God, since we're since we're on the since we are talking about PlayStation, so I was gonna last week on the Game Awards, we did get our first glimpse of a game that is being made for, well, okay, so for the PS5, right? Which, I'm sorry, folks, it's gonna play on the PS4. But I get what I'm sorry, but it's but it's going to also be on um, it's also going to be on. It's going to be made kind of for. Let me back it up. We'll start again. It's going to be made, with the PS5 in mind. So this is
Right.
Godfall. So an exclusive for the PS5. So Gearbox is
Is
not.
it exclusive or is it timed?
Well, it's right now. It is just PS5 and PS4 5 and Epic Game Store.
Ah, okay.
So um, it
But it
looks
might
crazy.
appear. But there was talking about that. There was I forgot what game it was. It's only available on the Epic Game Store, but it's also on PC Game Pass. It's a nice little loophole down
Yeah.
there.
Well, yeah. Well, because it's
So
not. I guess because it's not Steam.
it's not Steam,
No.
but I don't think it's just on the Windows Store either.
So Godfall, which is coming out in holiday 2020, so it's coming out with the launch of the PS5, is a third-person melee game. So think, what's that? Think For Honor, but perhaps maybe with a story. It is a it's a you can it's a loot up, so you can get legendary weapons and armor and whatnot,
Yeah,
and it is 1, 2, or 3 player co-op.
nice.
Yeah. So right now that's all we know, but it's a heck of a good looking game. Now, obviously our show is I'm showing this in its 60 FPS trailer, so hopefully you guys are all seeing that in 60 FPS. But we are, this is obviously shown in 4K, and what you're seeing in here is 720. So, Techno has a question for us. If we had 3 things we could wish for this next generation, ooh,
Three things,
three
man.
things. Oh, what you got, Peter? Which three
I
things
would
would you want to become a
say
reality?
number one is great games that you know utilize you know the hardware to its fullest extent.
Okay.
So hopefully that was just one. Um, I would wish that all games for that particular platform are BC, not just ones that are curated.
Okay.
So full BC with previous,
Full backward compatibility.
yeah. And the other one is a speedy um, dashboard slash apps, etc. Especially like on the Xbox, it's so sluggish at times. It's like, drives me nuts.
Okay.
But like game load speed and basically a very snappy experience. Let's say it that way, snappy experience.
Snappy experience. Okay. Three things that I would like to become a reality. I would love to see a lot more. I don't know. I'd love to. I'd like to see audio and music come back
Hmm.
as
Wouldn't
a
it be
as
kind
a.
of cool that you can listen to the OST for all the games that you have,
I
you know,
know.
and then, and it's tightly integrated, so you can just
I know.
hmm.
I know. But and I mean, music was such a big part of the older game generations. The Sega CD,
Right.
the
Well, it's
Saturn, the
also like
PlayStation.
partially due to limitation of the hardware at that point.
Well, sure, you
So
couldn't.
you have this actual
Yeah, you could.
red book on the game disc.
Yes. So yeah, which I'm fine with. I'm
Oh
fine
yeah,
with
but
because
I
I
mean
could
that's it is because that's just the
because I could
easiest way to.
when I could rip it to my hard drive.
Yeah, exactly. I remember
um.
listening to the Seventh Guest soundtrack. The disc
Oh
for
man.
ever.
Um. I would like to see. What would I like to see?
Oh, here's one. I'm doing my fourth one. Sorry,
Okay,
attack.
that's okay.
I want Xbox to support VR, third
I
party,
okay.
but
No
at
reason
least
why I
let them
couldn't.
right. So, but the whole thing is like currently like with headsets. Like if you want to have the complete wireless, no dongle and other stuff, there's a headsets that are that really only work with Xbox. So Xbox is the sole, you know, platform for the headset. That's when it can be completely wireless. Otherwise, you'll have dongles and other stuff,
Right.
which is stupid. And
Mm,
at least PlayStation is open about it. They don't really care.
true.
So
Yeah, because it's Bluetooth, so they really don't.
it's yeah.
I'm trying to think what else I really would like as a reality that I don't already get, and that's the problem. Is I already kind of, I VR would be one, but I'm content if Microsoft doesn't want to do VR. I'm content with my PSVR.
Hmm.
I don't know. I would love to see. I'd love to see more. I guess maybe you know. I'd like to see a return from every single player game having to be some giant open world loot loot fest.
Hmm.
So, um,
Service oriented.
right. I'd like to get back to some point A to point B games. That's what I
Yeah.
loved about Uncharted 4. Was no, it's a great question, Techno. Great question. Um, I'd like to see single player games get back to something meaningful in story. Um, more meaningful in story. Like God of War had a story that just kind of sucked you in. You
Hmm.
know, um, and Outer Worlds wasn't really open world either. You were kind of
Yeah.
it was
Well,
kind of it was a
yeah.
little bit, but not much. There wasn't as yeah. No, never mind. It was open world, but I liked
Yeah,
it.
because you could do multiple
You
quests
could
and you
do
can go
multiple
over the
quests. You go all over the
you can
map.
go over the map.
Yeah.
It's but it didn't feel like an overwhelming
No, it did
open
not.
world, whereas like super. Yeah.
No, and each side mission was actually worthwhile rather than just go get this sword, go
Right.
get this gun, um, or you're
No, it all has
building or
kind of
something.
meaning within the whole story.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I wouldn't mind a. I wouldn't. I would love to see a return to, but I would like to see a return to more linear based single player games that could focus on more than just
Yeah.
running around and fetching. You
Well,
know.
even when we look at Need for Speed, I mean, they make that semi. It's kind of open world,
Yeah.
and it's like a movie kind of movie experience, And it's like even though they went a little bit more back to the roots with the latest installment, it's still like too open for me. I like just get to the points, like
Yeah.
different stages you chase or being chased.
Agreed. Yeah. And that another one that comes to mind now that I think of it is for all the crap it got when it first came out, games like The Order 1886,
Hmm.
they were very linear, very cover shooter kind of thing, but had such a like I still remember to this day getting to the end of that game and just with the way the story fleshed out. And I'm not. If you haven't played it by now, because it's been like $5. So if you haven't played it by now,
Yeah, it's
uh,
it's 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 one of the best $5
yeah,
you'll spend.
yeah, then you're
I mean,
not. Spoiler alert. Sorry. At the end of the game, you have to decide whether. Well, you don't have to decide. You have to kill your partner, or one of your friends, because he's become evil, and he's down on the ground, and you got your gun pointed at him, and he's telling you, "Shoot me, shoot me," and you have to hit R1 to shoot him to go on in the game. There is no walking away from him, and I swear to goodness, I was like, "No, I'm not
yeah,
doing this." I was so emotionally invested that I put the controller down and left the game running to see if, after a period of time, the game would go on without me having to kill my basically my best friend, and it wouldn't let me, and I was like it just upset me.
hmm
The end of that game, I there have been games that at the end of the game I have gotten emotional because I can't believe that's what happened, and I can't believe the game's over, and I can't believe that this is how it played out. That's what I want to get back to in that, and I know my third one now. I know my I just although I just had it. Hold on. I had it, and I don't. Hold on. Crap. What was my third? Shoot.
yeah, you better come up with it because
Yeah.
otherwise it was a lie.
No. Damn. Linear. What was my third one? I just had it. Uh, oh well. I'll think of it. I'll
But
think
what
of it.
about you guys in the chat? What's
Yeah.
the You know, what's your
Yes.
number one thing that you?
Yeah. A Luma room. I can't remember what the third thing was, but it was something damn. All right, I'll think of it. When I think of it, it comes back to me. I'll get to it.
Hey, let me. I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think that if Microsoft did not have the whole like all the games move forward to the next generation Xbox, as well as accessories, etc. Do you think if Microsoft did not have that, Sony would still do that, or do you
Yeah.
think like,
I
hey,
think
let's
somebody would.
break it and sell everybody like new, a new piece for VR headsets and new controllers and
I think so. I think
remasters and
somebody would get there. Um, somebody would have gotten there first. So, by the way, here's the new Resident Evil 3 trailer that came up during State of Play.
oh yeah,
So, oh, and by the way, for those who did not know, um, starting in 2021, MLB The Show, which is still going to be developed by Sony Santa Monica, is going to be a multi-plat game.
yeah,
Now,
a very interesting development.
yes. Now here's the thing, though. Nobody said, and I don't think there was any. I don't think there was any mandate on what platform that is. So that doesn't. Before anybody gets crazy, that doesn't necessarily mean that Santa Monica has to put it out on the Xbox. It could simply mean that they would bring it out to the Switch, PC, mobile, um, Stadia, but it does not mean that they have to make an Xbox version. It simply says, in addition, a historic expansion of long-standing partnerships will bring the MLB The Show for the first time ever to additional console platforms beyond PlayStation platforms as early as 2021. That could very well simply mean the Switch.
Switch is not a console; it's a handheld.
Well, yes, I know. Yes, I know. So. But that doesn't mean Xbox. So don't everybody get your hopes up yet till the official announcement. But that's a huge that is a huge development.
Yeah.
So now MLB, that was the MLB. So here I will.
Yeah, I thought I read somewhere it was more specific too.
No,
but I don't remember where it was.
Here's the actual. Hang on, because I'm looking at the tweet, and let me save this as a picture real quick, and I'll show you guys the. This was the official. MLB. Here we go. Here's the official. Oh, that looks like. Hold on. There we go. So this was from MLB themselves, and all it says is, "We'll bring MLB The Show for the first time ever to additional console platforms beyond PlayStation as early as 2021. Complete details will be announced at a later date." So all that says. So, and I'm surprised that
it says additional console platforms. No, okay. So it's a console platform. It's plural. I mean,
saying.
What console platforms do you have?
Switch.
That's one. Additional platforms, plural.
Well, that opens it up for them to do whatever they
want. So what else?
Z Black said the same thing you did. Nintendo isn't a console. I know, but it's a.
But even if the Switch was, Otherwise, it would say to an additional console platform.
I
It's additional console platforms. They'll be sued if it's not also on Xbox, because right now those are the only two console platforms there are, aren't they?
yeah, but the wording is ambiguous enough that they could just say, well, we think the Switch is
No,
a
no,
console.
no, no.
So I'm just saying.
Console platforms. S.
I'm waiting. I would wait for the official announcement.
Well,
Although, you
sure.
know what, though? Hold on, though, because now that I think of it,
I mean, I think Nintendo and Xbox both tweeted
Xbox
something
did.
out.
Xbox did.
Did they have a
Uh,
news thing about it? No.
they didn't have a news thing, but they responded to the tweet.
Yeah, and so did Nintendo.
So did Nintendo. So Xbox tweeted out no more away games. So that it might be. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Wait.
Yeah, but who
Uh,
knows? Could be the same thing as Phil Spencer saying that Control is coming to Game Pass, which it
right.
probably does. But I think
Right.
it's that MLB is coming to Xbox as well.
Right.
But
So
who knows?
uh, yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just hold tight. So, but I am surprised that San Diego that Sony's holding on to it. Uh,
But let's assume it's coming to Xbox and Nintendo and stuff. I mean, it's great. I mean, that game is fantastic. The
it is.
presentation is absolutely phenomenal.
So,
So I'm glad they.
yeah, I am too. If it's really, you know,
And I
so
think MLB was tired of making that. What's that thing called? Their
oh
game.
yeah, yeah. You know what? That's funny because this now makes it what there. Oh, RBI baseball.
Yes.
So, but RBI baseball was a different monster. It was a whole different thing. It wasn't meant to be competition to the show. And honestly, I would love to see another Super Mega Baseball because I really still enjoyed that. So, anyhow, so that was the other
Yeah.
big news.
But that's. I mean, that's big news.
It is big news. It's huge.
That's huge.
So, and kudos to Sony for deciding. They could have just said, "Well, fine, we'll give it up," and and as uh, Super Mega Mullis. That's right. Um, and the return of EA. Although EA's baseball game wasn't that bad, MVP baseball wasn't horrible. Neither was Triple Play. But what should come back is 2K Sports' MLB because that was a hell of a game before the show became. It wasn't as good as the show. The show, see, you got to remember how long Sony has been doing baseball. It hasn't. It hasn't been. It's been back since the PS1 days. I mean, MLB the Show, which used to just be called at one point MLB, and it was even out on the PSP. By before they became Sony Santa Monica, excuse me, there was 989 Sports.
Hmm.
And 989 Sports is really where a lot of that stuff got started, whether it was MLB, NHL, NFL Game Day, and NCAA Game Breaker. Um, and of course, they had they had regular games in there too. But their baseball game, the first baseball game that they had, I'm looking it up now, was MLB '98 on the original PlayStation, and it had Bernie Williams on the cover.
Hey, what about High Heat?
So High Heat. So that was always an interesting. That's thank you. You reminded me of what my third. Let's get through this. I have my third reality wish. Thank you.
Oh,
Hold on.
baseball and Xbox.
No, 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 no. Hang on. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to open up. This is how sad I have become, Peter. I have to
Hmm.
open up Notepad and type this out real quick so I don't forget it.
Notepad.
I have
Man,
gotten old.
where's OneNote?
Well, I don't want to overkill my CPU. We are at 60 frames per second, you know.
Okay.
Okay, I can't. This is how old and how tired with my job I've gotten. Uh, so, Jeff said he's been playing Forza Horizon 4 with console streaming on his phone. Went back to his room so he could charge his phone battery and watch the show. Thank you, brother. Thank you. So Jeff knows we love him, even if him and I don't always see eye to eye. That's what makes our friendship so special. Um. So what was I saying? So you were asking me about high heat baseball.
Yeah.
So high heat baseball. Do you know the story? Do you know the origin of it?
You might have told me before, but I don't quite remember.
Okay. So high heat baseball actually was a PlayStation game at first,
Mm-hmm.
and it actually it's owned now by by Microsoft, who the bought the rights to the IP, but it actually was a game from 3DO. So it first came out 1999, 2000. So it had games from 1999 through 2004. Um, the first two came out on PlayStation and Windows. Then it came out to PlayStation 2. Never came out on Xbox. It was never an Xbox version, even though Microsoft bought the rights in 2003.
Mm.
So there were a bunch of great baseball games out there. Hardball was another good one by Accolade. Um, World Series Baseball from Sega. What else was there? There was so we had Triple Play, which became MVP Baseball, which actually honestly wasn't bad. You had the 2K Sports, that took over for when Sega had it, then sold to 2K. And there was one more that I forget that I'm missing. I can't remember what it is, but there used to be a plethora of great baseball games out there. So yeah, I played hardball on the PC and on my Atari. So
Yeah, I played something on a Commodore 64. I don't remember exactly what game it was.
oh, All Star Baseball from Acclaim.
Mm.
And All Star Baseball was one of the first. Well, it wasn't the first. It was actually one of the first of the Xbox and PS2 era games that had behind the fielder view. Cal Ripken Baseball for the Genesis had that, but I think one of the top baseball games of all time for me was All Star Baseball 2004, and I still have it for the Xbox, and it's one of my it's one of my tributes to Acclaim, um, to my friends at Acclaim. Um, still think about that day that they closed. My goodness. Anyway, All Star Baseball was really one of the better games out there at the time. So so that brings me to the third reality that I would love to
All right.
see. I would love to see companies dig out their old IPs that we've all been asking for and getting them on back out there. Sega, I mean, Nintendo does this in spades. Nintendo leverages their IPs like nobody's business. Like they
Mm-hmm.
do it better than anybody. So Techno, and I don't think it's Sega doing it, but Panzer Dragoon is getting remastered. I don't know if you knew that.
Well, remaster is a start.
Yeah, they're remaking it. um, it's coming out sometime this year, I believe. Making it. I remember when I forgot. I remember when they announced this. It was. I mean, it's gonna look great. Um, so yeah, so the I would like to see. I mean, believe it or not, there are so many IPs that that these guys own. Sega, PlayStation as well. We want a SOCOM. Want a SOCOM. SOCOM. I can't believe they're sitting on that. People are saying, why are you still sitting on things like Resistance and Killzone? You know, Microsoft is Microsoft is really sitting. If you saw what IPs they own, you know,
What about Lemmings? Sony owns the Lemmings IP.
Sony they do. They
I need
own.
Lemmings. I not.
Yes.
I mean, they put like a crappy Lemmings on the on iOS, maybe Android too. I don't know, but that's a piece of junk. I want to have like
Yes.
a legitimate Lemmings game. Man,
Yes.
those were good.
Yes. I want. Yes. Psygnosis hasn't done anything
Can
in
you
a long
imagine
time.
even in PSVR, like Lemmings
Oh
game?
my goodness.
Sony, if you're listening,
Yep.
could you add to
Konami,
me?
Born Distracted. Welcome in, Born Distracted. Konami has a lot of great IPs that they could. Um, oh, John, Marble Madness, but that's EA. If you you know, but I mean, Konami's got a lot of IPs. Capcom has some IPs that they could bring back. Um, I mean, there's so many franchises that we're missing these days.
Hmm.
That it's just, you know, I would love another Blinks. I would love, to see a high heat baseball. You know, I'd love to take another shot at, maybe take a shot at sequel to Grab by the Ghoulies. Rare's sitting on IPs. We always talk about that. Where's Cameo? You know, where's
Mm-hmm.
where's Perfect Dark?
Right.
Um, you know,
My
oh,
goodness.
that's right, Hudson. Now, to be fair, though, we have seen a Bomberman this gen.
Mm-hmm.
Banjo, we have seen a Bomberman. So that um, SNK has been putting out. Well, they've been putting out. They haven't put out any new games. They put out remakes. Um,
But what's sad, there are companies that buy IPs and they just bury them. It's not even the big ones,
right.
but even like Amped and other stuff. What
Yep.
happened to those? It's like they're slowly dying.
I know. I
Forgotten
know.
IPs.
Adventure Island. Now that Jeff's making me think of Hudson Soft. And what was the other one? Bonk. Was Bonk Hudson? What else did they list? I'm clicking on it now. So list of Hudson Soft games: Bomberman, Donkey Kong 3. Oh wow, Excite Bike was Hudson Soft. I didn't know that. What else is Hudson? Adventure Island. Bomberman was their big one. Let's see. What else did they have? R-Type. R-Type was really good. Bonk. Yeah, they did. Bonk's Adventure. Superstar Soldier.
Gonna have another rally sport challenge.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. Oh. So, yes, it got bombed, but I'll tell you what, I played that Bomberman, and it's actually pretty good. Don't don't listen to the reviews. Don't listen to the reviews.
The sequel to Mist. Yeah, Mist too.
No,
Wasn't there?
there was another one. I know what he's talking about. There were three myths actually.
Yeah.
But no, shoot, there was a game after it.
Wasn't something forgotten? Something?
He's right. Hold on. Oh my goodness, what was the game after Mist? The fifth something, or like the seventh seal, or Riven.
Riven. There you go.
Riven.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was so close. Riven. Oh my goodness. All right, we're so that's my wish is for just like I wish that the Odd Gentleman would pick up more of the quest series. You know, to get a new King's, maybe a new space or police quest. So yeah, so
Yeah. Oh man, that
that's
would be
my
awesome.
third hope. That's my third hope for reality is that some of these companies are gonna, um,
Dust off their IPs,
yes. So
reinvigorate them.
yep. So
Good one.
all right. So let's change gears here. So we got to talk about, you know what we got to talk about because
Yeah, Game Awards.
the Game Awards.
Ooh.
So shout out to Jeff Keighley. Give him credit where credit is due.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was a decent Game Awards this year. And no, I'm not saying that because Death Stranding did win Game of the Year. Um, I there were
It
I
didn't win, so I picked up a copy. Thought that would be fair.
oh yeah, Sekiro was your winner, or as Vin Diesel the gamer said, Sekiro.
Sekiro.
Sekiro. Um, yeah. Uh,
Yeah, talking about that game. Not Sekiro, but the Fast and the Furious thing. It
yeah.
didn't look too
Uh,
hot.
uh,
I, I felt bad. It's like, they're down there on stage. It's probably the first time they looked at that game. It's like, yeah.
that was like I remember when we saw that and we're like, is that a mobile game?
Yeah.
So, oh man. And look, I, a a helpful hint to those who want to come out on stage and pretend that they are they're gamers, right?
Yeah.
It's not Tekken, okay? When she came out and said, "Well, yeah, we sat and played Tekken all the time," and I'm thinking,
Yeah.
I'm glad that she said we play fighting games like Tekken. I just busted out. I'm like, what? Tekken? Who is Tekken?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? And yeah,
Maybe it's a
don't.
clone.
Yeah, we play games. Yeah, we play games. Okay, Tekken. Oh my god. So, no,
Yeah.
don't come out and do that. But yeah, cause props. There were a lot of good. I will say there were a lot of good game announcements.
Mm-hmm.
And the game awards itself, not so much cared about. Like I really honestly didn't care about who won anything. Um, but the game announcements were pretty good. So obviously, we all know, the big surprise was uh, Phil coming out and pretty much laying the wood down.
Yeah.
So it's the Xbox One X, Xbox One
Series X.
Series X, and so
You
I
can call me Xbox.
yeah, call me Xbox, because that's basically it. So yeah, I didn't care about the esports stuff either. So I wanted to play this real quick. I wanted to. So we're now, I think we're now done with the green, um, the green ball, and
Yeah.
now we're on to this, the just the Xbox white light.
That's what it
So
is. It doesn't go by name. It's now just a symbol.
right, it's the console formerly known as Xbox.
Exactly.
Oh my god. Oh man.
I love balls of green.
Yes. Uh, oh my goodness. Uh, but you know, ballsy. We had, that there. He wanted to be first to the punch, um,
Yes.
and he was not. he was not bashful about it this time around. And he made sure to tell you, you know, we looked at this and we're like, okay, Scarlet.
Yeah.
And then we looked at
And all of a
this.
sudden, like, hey,
Yeah. So I want your take on this first, and I want everybody in the chat rooms take on this as well because um, there's been a lot of talk about the look of of this thing, and what they said was it's basically the width of the controller this
mm-hmm.
way and three controllers high,
Yes.
and they they wanted to uh, they wanted to change the look. Now, I know a lot of people online, a lot of people on social media, because that's where all opinions should come from.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
they were like,
It's a perfect
Microsoft,
sample of
right?
opinion.
Exactly. Microsoft needs to drop the whole Xbox name, the stigma of the name, and like, no. And then, of course, the biggest one is, well, they're just calling it Xbox. Well, that's confusing. Really? Really? Well,
If
there
you
was a
forget your own name, then it might be confusing.
right. I mean, well, this was the funniest part to me. People are going to get confused when they go into the store because there was already an Xbox.
Do you know how we call that Xbox? The original.
15,
We call it the OG Xbox
right.
now.
And it hasn't been manufactured in 15 years.
Yeah, you won't even find it on any
Right.
shelf. You
Right.
might be
There's,
lucky if you find it in a retro shop somewhere.
right. Most people, when you say the word Xbox, either think of the Xbox One, or if they're a little older, they think of the Xbox 360. Unless you are a retro gamer, and if you're a retro gamer, you are not going to walk into a store and not know what this is. But no kid is going to walk in there and go, well, wait a minute. Wasn't Xbox this big green DVR, VHS looking thing? And then their mother goes, do you know what a VHS is? He goes, no. So no,
Oh,
nobody's going to know that because there was an Xbox, 20 years ago, that that this is going to confuse people. I mean,
yeah.
come on, people. Now, Series X, I think it's I think just calling it Xbox, I think, is the right move. It
Right.
gets the because what they really needed to do is get the Xbox One name out of there. That I agree with.
Yes. I mean, I was the other day. I was thinking about just the whole naming jazz of those consoles, and I don't think they had a long-term plan for naming those puppies. I mean, sure, Xbox, the very first one, the OG, okay,
Mm-hmm.
Xbox. And then Xbox 360. I mean, I know why they named it that way, but it's not a long term plan of naming
No,
your products.
no.
It's like, yeah,
What's the next one? 720? Because people thought that the next one would be called the 720.
right. And then there's Xbox One, and it's like,
Why
okay, another
so?
bad name.
So we
It's
got
like
some good names in the chat room here, Peter.
Xbox Rectangle.
Yes, and the Why So Serious X, and Jeff's just calling it the Xbox SX. So, uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
But at least now they're setting it up to, we know we're going to get more X's in some flavor. They're going to be all the series.
right.
So at least, they're setting it up for long term.
They're doing what Samsung does. The Galaxy. There's been 10
Yeah,
Galaxies. All
right.
right.
The same
The
thing with
i
Apple.
right, the iPhone. There's been
iPhone,
right.
MacBook, iPad.
Yeah, that's
Then
what
they have
they're
iPad Air, and you have different.
right. That's what they're doing.
Right.
That's what they're doing. I'm fine with it. Um, let's go to the look now. Now, John makes a good point, and I understand. He doesn't care about. He's not big. He doesn't care about how it looks, but he does care what it does, and I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But let's look at the design for a minute because I think this is something that is interesting to me. When this first came out, the initial reaction was, well, well, now it just looks like a PC. Well, besides the fact that it is a PC, let's be honest,
Yeah, it has always been a PC.
right? But
It's not
to
big.
me, it looks more right. To
We're old
me,
school.
it
Uh,
looks more like a, a home assistant. It looks like
mhm.
they wanted this thing to look like an Amazon Alexa.
Yes.
So,
They would
and
make
I
it round if that were so big that it just fits right on
uh,
top of it, somehow.
right.
But yeah,
Um,
but yeah. So this wide.
and and I think that the, I mean, and it does go sideways for those.
Yes.
So John says it looks like the Cortana Tower. Huh. I I don't know what the Cortana Tower is. But
It's Googled ever Bing.
oh, wait a minute. Well, the Cortana Tower looks more like a cone. But the thing at the top does kind of look so. Yeah, it's I think that they what they want to do is they need people to not look at it maybe as a console as much anymore. Um, it must
It's
be
That's one way to enter console war. It's
don't
over.
look like right. Don't look like a console. Well,
Yeah.
they always got such crap for their designs. They always have. You know, uh, the Xbox One, the original Xbox One was like a DVR. The X is smaller, but still, it was always
I
like
I hate the X
really.
because it's not symmetrical. It's it has on the left side more overhang. It bothers me.
Really, I haven't
Yeah.
even noticed that.
See, and now you do, and now it's going to bother you too.
You know what covers it up?
That sticker.
The sticker. The sticker. So, uh, symmetrical Peter.
Yeah.
So no, I think it's a smart move in that um uh you are it gets it. This is a large move away from the Xbox One. It
Right.
is.
Well, another thing is like the design was second, right? They didn't come up with a design and saying like, "Hey, now we need to put this nice design and stick it in with like high tech parts." I
That's
believe what I've read is the design was like secondary, like get what we wanted to do and then find something that would work.
yeah.
But I'm so used to seeing that now as like little little rectangular thing that I want the PS5 to be the same form factor. Stick them on both sides of your TV or
I
side by
still
side or
I
something.
still want the spaceship.
I don't know. I see that as being a dust magnet.
It's okay. I have a vacuum.
Yeah, a swivel duster, but still.
Yeah. All right. So the other
But the other
question.
hand, I don't. I mean, what's Techno said too. I don't really care what my box looks like. Most of the time, how many times do I look at a box? Never. So I'm more interested in what it can do and the games that are on it.
And the games that are on it. So that brings us to, well, before we move on. So, um,
But I've seen images and stuff, and they all look kind of like big. It's like the size is really almost like two axes stacked on top of each other.
maybe. Yeah, maybe.
So that's the width of a controller.
Oh. So Bourne says Sony may get laughed at if they go with a similar look. But you know what? They might laugh at it, then they'll buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not kid ourselves for a minute. Um, that is
Maybe Sony says like, dang, if Xbox can do that, we can do that too. Why
yeah.
why make it look like a spaceship and other stuff? And but here's another thing why I think Phil showed it now early on, because I think this is also the dev kit.
Right.
So
It is the dev kit. We know that.
So I mean, so you will see dev kits and other stuff and pictures and stuff and leaks. So better be upfront and saying like, here it is. That's what it looks like.
The Twin Towers.
Yeah, call the two towers from the Lord of the Rings. That would be more appropriate. But yeah, I'm curious how it will look. I like it standing up better than putting it flat down.
Yeah. I might stand it up if I.
At least it looks very sturdy. It's standing up. So
It does. No need for a
little
thing. Yeah.
yeah,
So we'll say yeah. So okay.
stand.
So now here is uh
Hey Nate, before your time, we put PCs flat
that's
and then
true.
put the monitor on top of it.
So before we get on to the other to its game announcement.
When you were still running in diapers, so before that time,
Yeah.
Nate. That's how they also used to be beige.
Yeah. What do you think the price is going to be?
It's not going to be lower than $4.99. It might even be $5.99.
Yeah.
It all depends. Like if they come out with a second one, the cheaper version at the same time, then they could sell this for like $5.99, and then the other one for I don't know cheaper, $3.99. But if this is the only one, then $5.99 it might be kind of like a lot of people saying like, ooh, that might be a little steep.
Yeah, I think
Then
it's going to be.
$4.99 will be the price point.
Hmm.
And thinking about PlayStation, it's gonna be max of $4.99, unless they also have two consoles, which I have not heard any rumors about that. So
Well, I think that was a foregone conclusion that there was
yeah,
going to be multiple consoles. So,
for Xbox, but PlayStation,
for PlayStation, I think there's only going to be one.
right? So I
Yeah.
think the PlayStation is $4.99. Now here's the thing: is Xbox gonna match that with this beast, or are they gonna say, hey, even though we're $100 more, we have another one that's $100 cheaper than the PS5?
Yeah. And so
It all depends how
I
hungry they are.
well,
How
and it depends on what they're going to do with the Xbox One X. So if that's the one thing that they could do is they could have, say, a digital only version with a slightly with something that is stronger than the Xbox One X, but not as strong as their Series X or Scarlet. Um,
Yeah,
and they
the
sell that
Lockhart.
for right. Maybe they sell that for $2.99. You know, I hate Mountain Dew, John, so I'm out. I'm out. So,
Yeah. No Mountain Dew
um,
or
right,
Taco Bell.
yeah. Well, and so Nate, I wouldn't say they have the upper hand because you have to remember something. The Microsoft has a battle on their hands here. They are still battling the PlayStation name.
Oh yeah.
You cannot. I mean, all it's going to take is the announcement of the PS5 specs and price, and that fan base is going to heat up again.
Hmm.
So, it's one of the reasons that I love loving them all is because I don't, I it's whatever it is can be good for the industry as long as we're not. See, I, I think Microsoft needs to to stay inexpensive, and I think the reason why is because in 2013 they asked us to pay, what was that launch? What did I pay for the X? Because I remember I
For the X, 4.99, wasn't it?
the Xbox One when it launched was 499,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So they asked us to pay 499 at launch.
Hmm.
Then 3 years later, 4 years later, what was it? 20 when did the 2017? So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 4 years later, they asked us to spend another $500 on their apology console, the Xbox One X. So now in 2020, not 3 years later, they're asking gamers to buy another $500 console. Now, the you can make the argument that Apple asks you to pay $1,000 a year for a new phone. I get
That's
that,
if you get it cheap.
but that's a hard sell to to add. I
See,
don't.
here's the thing. I mean, I think Phil can sell to the whole Microsoft board for even having a loss on the console because of Game Pass.
Yes, that I think is their differentiator.
So
That's their ace.
I think that's how he can get his console you know in in price line with the PlayStation.
Oh, so hold on, Shizno. Hang on. So Shizno asked, "How long are you going to hold 2013 against Xbox?" So let me be really clear to everyone because I took a lot of crap for it. I First off, I have my Xbox One is a day one edition. I still have my day one controller. My day one Xbox One is upstairs where my kids are using it. Okay. I pre ordered it after E3 when everybody else was banging on it. And I pre ordered it because their vision for what
Hmm.
they wanted to do was exactly what I thought somebody needed to do. Not a digital only future at that time, like the Shot A, but being able to go out and buy a physical game and use it as install media.
Yes.
And the things that Microsoft could have done had they not bowed to the pressure at E3, and
Hmm.
and and making horrible PR choices.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
horrible PR, and letting PlayStation define them. And that was the biggest issue that they had was they allowed their messaging was so poor that they allowed Sony to come out on stage later and define them without even naming them, and pulling Connect out and all these things that they did. But let me be very clear, Shizno, I I was all in, all in on the original Xbox One, and everything that it wanted to do. I was all in on it, and and since then, I get what Phil has been trying to do, but what he has done is in a way he did take away a lot of things that I bought the Xbox One for.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it because I knew I could plug my satellite box in it and watch football while I'm playing a game at the same time. I bought it because I believed in Connect. And because when I play,
I still believe in Connect,
even though I can't use
even
it,
if it's just for Just Dance or
or
yeah,
Fantasia,
Fantasia. I mean, there's some good games that
I have to, you know what? I got to, because it's upstairs with my,
Yes, I need to find an adapter, Nate.
you know, it's upstairs with in the upstairs Xbox, which we still use to this day to turn on the Xbox One on and off. I could play at Fantasia upstairs. I believed in the Xbox One. I'm not thrilled that they took those things away, but that didn't stop me from from getting the X. Didn't stop me from but see, even a 24-hour check-in thing, Jeff. My argument against that was that's how they number one, that's how you got around what was going to be obvious piracy. You install the game on your machine, and look what they're doing now. If your internet goes out, you can't play half your games. So it's not as
Yeah.
though
Hey,
what's
if you
funny
can't
is
today, I couldn't even sign in, so I couldn't watch Disney Plus.
right. Hell, the 24-hour check-in, if you lost your internet, would at least give you 24 hours to play your games before they wouldn't work. Now,
Right.
if your internet goes out or Xbox Live goes down, you can't play now. So, and my argument then was, well, use your cell phone and hook your, just use that as a Wi-Fi hotspot or use that to tether it and check in. How hard can that be? So, that, yeah, being able to share games. So I don't hold I what who I hold responsible for the Xbox in 2013 was Microsoft's PR, not Microsoft's vision,
No.
and the fact that they came. Uh, okay, well, I don't know how it was done when it's better than it is now. But anyway, I I, I actually blame Microsoft more for backing off of their vision than actually what they did and bowing to pressure. Because my understanding was that major developers, EA, and publishers like EA and stuff were, and even Sony to an extent, were all on board with that whole thing. And somebody had to blink, and Microsoft had to blink at the end. So, um, you know, but I guess my original point was they asked us to pay $500 for a console in 2013. They asked us to pay $500 for a console in 2017, and now they're asking us to pay probably $500 for a console in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't number one. They can't go any higher than $499. I think that's
And guess what they're going to ask for in 2023?
yep to do it again. Yep, I know. This is where we
That's
are.
that's where we are. But
So
it's kind of follows the same way as like graphics cards and stuff.
it does. It's exactly what it does.
I mean, that's the nature. I mean,
Yeah.
you on better, faster.
So it comes down to whether or not people want to pay it. But I like your idea. I think the I think if they really wanted to be smart and if they really wanted to gain back some market share and they wanted to leverage their services, this won't happen. I said the same thing about the X and I was wrong. Well, I'll be wrong here too. It's fine. I think Phil steps up at whatever, you know, show he wants to do it at and say, you know what? We need you guys, we need your hands on this console to really understand. We need you guys to see what this thing can do and to see why you need to upgrade from your Xbox One or, you know, come over from another console. Xbox, so we're going to charge you $3.99 for this. And if you want something that's along the lines of the X, maybe a little more powerful than the X, um, here's the other system for $2.99.
I think another thing what they should do is back in Halo Infinite.
Well, I don't think they're going to need to. Well, they kind of will, because they're going to package. They're going to package Game Pass, a couple of months of Game Pass.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're going to do that on the sly, and they'll put Game Pass on there, and they'll put a picture of Halo on it. So. But I think if they really want to, they really, 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 really want to get it back. $3.99.
I think you're pushing it. I think we should be lucky to pay $4.99. But whatever happens, they cannot be higher than a PlayStation.
No, they can't, and I don't think it will. I think, but I'm just
Yeah, it won't be $3.99. I mean, look, the X is still going for like $3.50, and it's on sale.
I know,
right?
I know. What
it's
if they? So what if we split the difference? What if they went $4.59 or $4.49? I'm sorry, $4.49. That would be that'd be between the two. I think.
Can you imagine if they're going to be $50 cheaper than a PlayStation?
That would. I mean, $50. $50 is $50.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
or here's another thing: same price and a year of Game Pass.
A year of Game Pass, and it has to be everybody. It can't just be a year of Game Pass for new gamers. It's got to be even if
no for everybody. It's like here. It's like it comes with a.
Oh. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
When did you buy a Dreamcast for $300, John? The launch price was $199. So, yeah. Sorry, man. I used the go offline option the last time Xbox Live was down, and it didn't play. None of my games could play because none of them could authenticate. So that's the digital future. It's what it is. It's what Microsoft was thinking way ahead of everybody else. So anyway, all right. Well, that's okay. Well, here's what they're launching with that that they think is going to. And this was funny too because I just had to laugh when I saw this. When I saw, we kind of looked to see what, we're like, well, what could this be? And, hit play. And, you see a little X there. And then you saw Ninja Theory. And you're thinking, uh-oh, Bleeding Edge. And then no. And everybody kind of knew what was coming. They just didn't know it was going to be Hellblade 2. And what was really funny is when, as usual, when Ninja Theory announced Bleeding Edge, everybody was, oh no, Microsoft is ruining Ninja Theory. Why can't they make another Hellblade? Hey. Well, because they were getting ready to make Hellblade 2. So, oh yes, the Neo Geo. And each Neo Geo cartridge was $200. So this looks insane. I mean, this almost looks like a movie trailer. So if this is what the X Series X Xbox is going to look like, you might have to sign me up. Except I'm going to have nightmares about Sanua because she looks crazy.
Yeah.
So, but this right, like, yeah, this is just nuts. And you know,
I mean, if this is a sign of what's to come, then we're in good hands. I mean, you know.
yep,
Whew.
I know. So you're getting this, and you're getting Halo Infinite, which we already know about,
Mm-hmm.
and we
New
have.
Forza?
Are we? Think we're getting a new Forza?
Yeah, 7.
Okay,
Motorsport.
all right. Well, I mean, we obviously saw a Forza car in the ad,
Mm-hmm.
and we still have not heard from the initiative.
Yes.
We still have no idea what they were. Whatever they're working on had better be so good that it actually mows your lawn for you.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be mind blowing among mind blowing because
Oh, yeah, Z Black Rider said looks like a FIFA deal too, since we saw that on the trailer too. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, that's just smart. I mean, you know, it'll be more enticing for Europe and stuff, especially UK.
yeah. But this is a good yeah.
This could just give me goosebumps. Seeing all those
Oh, I
arms hanging.
know.
Oh man. Woo.
Yeah. So um yeah, this is gonna be good. It's a good time to be a gamer, man.
Right.
It's just a good time to be a gamer.
But this was
So
very distracting for the rest of the
it was.
award show, though.
I
It's
know.
like because we were in a party show. It's like so first we have the X announcement, and then or the Series X, and then we have this, and it's like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. It's like we didn't. That's just so
Yep.
unexpected.
I know. I know. So so uh yeah, I mean this is and of course next year we're getting Ori and the Blind Forest, and this isn't
Oh
even
yeah,
talking about Xbox. We're getting Ori and the Blind Forest, The Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, and yeah, let me play that. Going back to shoot, I grabbed that as well while we're finishing up talking here. I mean, good grief, this trailer, this blew me away. I mean, and this isn't even this is one of those games that they talk about. They're targeting the PS4. The gameplay is captured in engine from PS Pro. This isn't even going. I mean, obviously it's going to run on the PS5. They'll probably do some PS5 enhancements. But good God, this is pro hardware, and the base hardware is going to look pretty darn close to this.
to me this looks worse than what they've shown before.
Really?
Yes, and I
Okay.
don't know what it is.
Maybe it's, I don't know.
It's not as crisp,
Huh.
and the leaves don't look as realistic as before. I don't know. Maybe it's the footage, or maybe who knows. But I forgot what game it was. Oh, maybe it was what's that game called? I think the God of War 2. It's like till till they had like the final release trailer. It gradually looked worse too, and then you know with the actual release trailer and the release game, it was like fantastic.
Agreed. still
not.
looks.
It's no arrow to the knee.
No, it's not. No, I mean, this game might be, you know, I know everybody liked Neo, but this looks like a whole different kind of game.
Right. I mean,
So
the thing is, like, we haven't really seen like gameplay.
we're seeing a little bit of it, but
I
see,
mean,
like
it's
this
maybe
is
this. Yeah, no, I'm not.
not
Uh,
that. That's
no,
not gameplay, but
it's very.
mm, John loves you. So I mean, this game, I'm looking forward to it, and if it can be
Oh yeah.
more, what I don't want it to be is I do not want it to be Dark Souls. I'm getting tired. I'm also getting tired.
Oh.
That's my fourth. I have a fourth one, John. I would like every game not to be Dark Souls. Okay,
Well,
can
not
we?
compared to Dark Souls.
Right. I don't want this game to be the Dark Souls of. All right, we've already got that.
Called Dark Souls.
So I I will be happy with this being the Tenchu of, or something like that. I'm not. I'm not. I don't want to just like roll around and then slash and then roll around and slash.
Hey, do you think you can collect different masks that give you different powers or power ups?
Ooh, like a 3D shinobi. That's what I would love this to be.
Mm.
A 3D shinobi.
See, in my opinion, sword combat games are typically poorly executed, where you cannot see your distance to the blade. You
Yeah.
know, how close are you? And it's like
So
it's the same thing with Dark Souls 2. It's like it's for me, it's very hard to get a good grasp on, like, how close can I be to the enemy that I will not get hit, and how close do I have to be before I can hit him.
sure.
That's why I like Remnants from the Ashes. It's because you're using guns and stuff instead of swords, so you have your distance and you don't have to gas.
Sure. Yeah. I get. Yeah, but I mean, a good sword game. They're they can be done. Ninja Gaiden did it,
And
but
also, don't hit through your through walls and bricks and other stuff,
right.
obstacles.
You're right. Right. Oh, I don't know. This one I'm looking forward to. Definitely. Definitely looking forward to that game. So
John said we need games that define new genres. It's always nice to have like a new defining game, or even like new IP. I'm all for new IP, regardless if it's like a new genre or not, but just new.
yeah,
I
I could
like
see
I
that. Yeah.
like being surprised, or like with God of War, it's even though it's the God of War name, it's like completely different than what they've done before.
Right.
So it's kind of like same.
So, man, what a great time to be a gamer.
Whew, yeah, next
Right?
year, man,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Wallet will be empty. So,
Yeah,
well,
wife will complaining. What did you spend all this money? Didn't you just buy a console? I can already hear it.
uh huh. Yeah, but I got a bonus.
Exactly.
That's what I'm gonna go
Hey, I'm
with.
doing my trades.
So, hey, you know what? The show is great because we got great friends that hang out with us, like you guys.
Exactly.
So, all right. So, for me, I think that's everything for tonight. I think
Yeah,
I
I think
covered. I think we covered some good stuff this evening. So,
we did.
yeah. Do you have anything else that you can think of?
No, one thing with the going back to the Series X, it's like it's a big canvas to do something fun with. We've already seen on Twitter, like
Yeah.
Xbox Pope trading things. It's like
Oh, I know.
Microsoft can be a little creative
Yeah. Well,
and not just in a You know, the box with a. It's kind of funny. The actual packaging. You
It
know, did they
it
make
will
it gear
be.
specific? No, they have to make.
Yeah, it
Make
will.
things that are specific, and maybe now it's cheaper to do it.
Maybe, and maybe that's part of how they're going to keep the cost down is by having everything in such a tight,
Right.
um, tight box like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
And maybe you can get special wraps, something, like sleeves that you slide over it. Some, who knows, something
yeah,
like the old faceplates. Except
yes. Oh my god, I miss faceplates. I still have them
it's
up on
funny.
my wall.
I've never had a customizable faceplate.
Yeah. So yeah, yeah, most definitely. And I still have all mine on the wall. So
Oh, here's a number five for techno. I I want to expand. Especially on the Xbox, the storage capacity. It would be nice if there's a slot where you can stick in another, SSD.
nowadays the external hard drive thing seems to be the way to go.
True, but if it's really like so much faster to, load stuff from the internal SSD, even if it has to be a Microsoft specific one because it has the
Sure.
right specs, etc. I wish we could.
Yeah, that's I hear you. I think what was funny about the Xbox One was the the SATA 3 uh, uh, was faster than the internal or the USB 3 rather is faster than the internal SATA. So the
Yeah,
drive but
that's disappointing too. That's like,
yeah,
stupid cost cutting measure. That how much did they save per console?
right.
Just pass it on or eat that cost.
Well, with SSDs, Z Black makes a good point. It could be tricky with proprietary SSDs, but you're right. If they make, if Microsoft makes them specific, so
Yeah,
I
even
think
if
we'll
it's
have
like a
to.
cartridge thing,
Yeah, I
something
think
that
we'll have
you
to.
can just slap it in
I
there. But keep the OS and all the the internal stuff on its built in, and we just have this for additional games.
sure.
Hey, have them even swappable, so you can bring it to a friend's house. There we go. While you install games.
Okay. All right. So I'm good with that. Hot swaps.
Hotspot.
There you go.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Why not? So, all right.
Can you imagine? Oh, number
You
six.
got a six?
Number six. Can you imagine you playing a game, right? And you're stuck in a particular level, so you can like,
John.
the whole thing, memory and all saved to the, not just like a save game, but just the whole memory gets saved on this thing, and you go to a friend's house, you pop it in, and
Oh, and you're right there.
you're right there.
Yeah, because I do like the fact that with the external drive, you could take it over to a friend's house and don't have to install the game. I do like
Mhm.
that. I do
Yes.
like that. Um, and I did read where and Microsoft, the Xbox will do this, and I'm sure the PS5 will do this. Is being able to save state at multiple games. So not just not just being able to save your state for one game and then go watch
Right.
TV or do an app and come back, but to actually save state in multiple games. Microsoft has said they're going to do that, so that's cool.
I mean, right now they kind of have something like that, but it doesn't work well. Your sound gets all messed up and other stuff. So
Yeah,
hopefully they implement this correctly this time and not as an afterthought.
yeah, I agree. And sometimes I end up having to reboot the console.
I always close my apps. My console is on instant on, but I always close the apps and the games. Just because if I don't do that, then it's like it will start up being garbage.
Right. So
But yeah, exciting times.
definitely, definitely. So all right. So yeah, I love you too, John. You guys, our chat room is the best. Um, so the next couple of weeks, um, Thursday is the 26th and the second. I'm good if you're good.
I'm good.
We can go through the because I'd love to do an end of the year what's your game of the year? Everybody's been talking about game of the decade, so we can give that some thought.
Mm,
Um, and
that's so hard. Game of
it
the
is.
decade.
Oh, it
It's
is.
like what you
I
know.
can't. Yeah, I'd have. I
Even
mean,
even game of the year. It's like it's like so spread, and it all has to do with mood.
absolutely, it does. It depends on what you're and I can't. There are some games I can't remember that I
Well,
played.
that too.
You
And
know.
then you forget about it, and it's like the show is over. It's like, what about this game? Oh, that was the best game. Too late.
All right, so we'll take a week to think about it. So
Mm.
maybe we'll get Chris back. Chris never let me know he was on, so uh, because it was just us. Um,
So good.
it is all good. So, all right. Well, then we'll be back here next Thursday night
All right.
for another thrilling episode of the NLG show.
Yeah. Boxing Day.
There you go. Or in gaming, could be the unboxing day.
The unboxing day.
So,
True.
all right, brother Peter. It is time for us to get out of here then.
It is. This is,
Oh, John, we have a guest appearance.
oh, what the
Yes,
heck?
yes. Well, I've been asking you that for like a
Yeah.
couple of months now. Yes. All right. Techno Fabulous will be on our show next week.
There we go.
Careful what
Unboxing
you
Day.
careful what you ask for, brother.
Yeah.
I will hit you up if you really yes, because you are a former host, you are alumni, you are always welcome. And you know what? We'll have to come up with a our so the two things that John used to love this. Number one, John used to come on with a product of the week. So like one week it was a waffle iron, and one week it was like a the Ginsu knives or something like that. And then when we used to talk about sales and stuff, I used to bring I used to bring out the calculator. John, do you remember the calculator? John used to laugh. He used to laugh at me about the calculator. It was so funny.
Mm.
So we might have to pull those. We might have to pull some of that out. Oh, now I'm excited. John's gonna be with us next week. I'm okay. Sweet.
We have a
So
date.
we do. All right, Peter, take us out, brother.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. This was once again a very fun episode with lots of good stuff. A chat room that was lit. It's still lit. So thank you. I'm gonna say Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Gaming. See you next week. A special guest, Techno Fabulous, aka John.
Yes. Good night, everyone. Happy holidays.
Game on.